Hello everyone, my name is Athar Beg and welcome to the first presentation of the seminar series that some of us have been planning along with some other initiatives that you will see soon, which are aimed at enhancing your learning both technically and from a soft skills point of view, so that you are ready for the job market once you pass out from this department. We did briefly talk about these activities in the Golden Jubilee event, and here's the fruit of that labor. Now please note that these sessions are not meant to imply that the presenters are the ultimate experts in everything and you'll get the exact answers to all the problems in life. Instead, the presenters are volunteering their experiences for your benefit, based on what they've gone through in their lives and done as part of their careers, in the hope that these sessions can help at least some of the fellow applied physicists. These sessions will mostly be run by the alumni of the department, both from the academia, but also the industry, but we might get some external speakers to run them too. There are other activities being planned as well, like a mentorship program. So make sure that you are aware as they are announced. And I would encourage you to attend and participate fully, as they are all for your benefit. If some of our alumni are watching this as well, I would encourage you too to contribute to our program of seminars and other activities, as this is just a small way to give back to the department we all love so dearly. Now today I'll be speaking to you about how to stand out when you're in competition with a world full of people with similar or even better qualifications. This will help you not only in getting the job of your dreams, but also in keeping it going forward. And by that I mean how to keep ahead of your competition once you have the job you want. Now I'm not a big fan of slides, and especially with a lot of text on them. So I don't have many slides for this presentation, and whatever number of slides there are, I don't have lots of text on it either. So you are welcome to take notes, but if you listen to my presentation with focus, by the end of it, you will need only one slide that you will also see at the end. Now, before I start on the main content, a little bit about me as well. Well, you know my name already, and I work as an enterprise solutions architect at Rackspace Technology Limited. For those who haven't heard of this job title before, what it means is that my company assigns me to enterprise level companies, basically the companies with $1 billion revenue or above, or 1,000 employees or above. And when they have any business requirements, for example, they want to move all their workloads from their private cloud infrastructure to public cloud, I design end-to-end solutions for them. Now that includes all cloud platforms, machines, storage systems, networking, software components, security, connectivity, and even the migration plans. The customer would then agree to it, sign the contract, and someone gets to deploy that solution for those companies. And that's basically pretty much what the job title means. Now, I've been in the IT industry since I passed out from the Applied Physics department in 1996. So I've been around for a while, and part of this IT environment, which was basically a period of massive change in capabilities and technological advancements. And I think, or I'm sure, there are more to come. I'm married to Sadia, who happens to be from my own same batch, with 3 kids who are fairly grown up now, but they keep me busy all the time. I started my career after master's in Karachi, as I worked before my master's as well, and worked my way up to the position of IT manager, for one of the oldest advertising agencies in Pakistan before moving permanently to the UK in 2001. Since then, I've worked in both technical and leadership positions in various international public and private sector organizations. And in the process, I've consulted and architected many private and public cloud environments. Before moving to the UK, I came across this new company called VMware and their innovative new product called VMware Workstation. I could see the potential of it to change the world of IT and decided to focus on that new technology that is now called x86 virtualization. Now, fortunately, my decision was right, and it changed the IT landscape forever, to the point that modern computing is based on that concept in some way, whatever the new concepts are up and coming. I also run the Applied Physics University of Karachi Facebook group, which I created in 2007, which aims to provide current and old students a virtual place to meet, ask questions, be it technical or otherwise, arrange meetups, and even have job postings. I would encourage you to join the group as well, but please answer the 3 questions correctly and also agree to the group rules. Otherwise, the request gets rejected automatically. Now, it is important to answer them, and the reason why I'm implementing that because I was getting a lot of weird and wonderful membership requests, and those questions keep the wrong people and even bots out of the group. You can find me on Twitter as well as on LinkedIn. Now, some of you may already be on those platforms, but for those who aren't, if you listen to my talk properly and the presentation has the impact I'm hoping for, I'm sure that you'll be on those platforms too. So let's get into the problem that we are looking to solve today through this talk. Now, we know that getting a job post-graduation is an extremely difficult thing to do. And that's not new though. Every batch has had this problem for many years, although I admit that it has gotten gradually worse with time. But that's simply because there are too many people with the same or similar degrees, and there aren't many jobs going around. That's just a fact of life, and sadly, it's only going to get worse. I can tell you that this is not just an issue locally here in Karachi, or Sindh, or even at a national level. It's a global problem. There is a reason why most of the CV scanning in the Western world is now done by machine learning. But we'll keep that topic for some other day. Then, of course, there's a competition for every job. When you are sitting in your class, the person you see on your left or right is your competition. You are all studying the same degree with the same content and the subjects that probably haven't changed in years. What do you think is going to happen when the recruiter opens their box with all the CVs of all of you in front of them? How will they choose who to call for an interview? Now, it's not just your class fellow or the previous batch that is in competition with you. People from the local and national universities are also fighting for the same position, as they've also studied similar things. Looking at the global level, it's even tougher as you are competing against the entire world. So while technology has made the job market quite wide, and you can get jobs abroad while sitting at your own home, it also means more competition as well. So if all you are doing during your time here at Applied Physics is your degree, then all you're going to have on your CV when you apply is your degree. When a recruiter sees 50 CVs with only Masters in Applied Physics written on it, what chances do you have to get your CV approved for an interview? It is estimated that once a CV gets into the hands of a recruiter, you have less than 30 seconds to make an impression on them before they reject it. Now that was a few years ago, because now the average is about 15 seconds. Will your CV stand out? Now most of you know the job situation already, and this is not to discourage you at all. I'm just stating one major cause of it and something that you can fix. I'm also not naive. I know that there are some other issues as well that students often complain about, like degree equivalence. But that's, again, a fight for another day, and surely you're not going to wait for those issues to resolve before applying for a job, are you? Such issues are not in your control, so there is no point spending time worrying about them. I'm here to tell you that you can do something about this situation yourself. There are things that you can do to enhance what you've already got and amplify it enough to create a differentiation between you and someone else. Now, I'm not going to lie, it will take some effort. But if you take my suggestions and put the required effort in to implement them, I can assure you that your CV will stand out, because you'll be confident that it has a good chance to be superior as compared to your competition. Ultimately, it's a race, and it's only fair to let the best competitor win, right? Now, there is a solution to these problems, and it's you. I'm not sure if you remember the first picture you saw in one of the previous slides. What's different here? I'm sure that your eyes are drawn to one tile, the yellow one. That's what I want you to become, different. I also don't want you to miss the fact that the yellow tile also has the blue tile underneath it. So it also has all the qualities that everyone else has. But that yellow bit on top, that's extra. Be that. Those who know chess can relate to this particular slide. The piece is quite powerful because it has come from the other side and fought its way through to the target and is attacking the challenge head on. The rest are all behind trying to catch up. That needs guts, skill, and determination. And you will need that all your life. No one will hand you the opportunity. You will have to fight for it. If you look at this, in this large field that looks the same everywhere, why do you think that the photographer was drawn to this picture? Could it be the rose that he's trying to find? In this world of competition, you need to be different. That's the only way you, your CV, and your career will get the attention that you deserve, and you'll prosper. Now, to stand out, you can dress smartly as well. You should always do that. But I'm not talking about standing out and in that way here. It's all about marketing yourself properly and be seen by prospective employers when they are looking and getting hit by thousands of CVs. So in a nutshell, you must have additional accomplishments on your CV than just the degree itself. Now, where are you going to get those other accomplishments from? And there are ways, and what all the rest of the talk is all about. Some might already be doing what I'm about to suggest, but the point of this talk is that if there are only a handful of alumni or students who can take these suggestions and implement them, and as a result, they change their life and career and the trajectory of it, I would consider that to be time well spent, and it will all be worth it. But one thing is for sure, we should stop complaining and talking about the lack of opportunities and start doing something about it. You can say all you want about not having the opportunities where you are, but every era has had this problem in varying degrees. While the problem has increased over the years, simply because there are more graduates, we also know that more industries and technology have also become available. One thing that the technology has brought is access to the global market. Now, it could be a good or a bad thing, but I can tell you that a lot of the workforce that I have been working with for the past couple of decades is from our neighboring country. In addition to getting access to extra materials and studying hard, in addition to what they normally study as part of their curriculum, they also employ some of the suggestions I'm about to give you. So I would advise that you do the same. It seems to me that what you need actually is a program of steps in sequence. So kind of a success timeline. So I'll give you one, follow it, and see where it takes you. So the first step in this process is know thyself. What I mean is that you've got to find your passion in life, and that's absolutely key to your future. Don't see the degree as something that will get you a job, as it's there to give you the skills to analyze and have critical thinking. But passion is what will give you success. Spending 30 to 40 years doing something that you don't love will be extremely difficult. And you'll be dragging yourself out of bed to do it every day. But if it's something that you care about, you will wake up every morning energized and happy to spend the effort on developing your skills. And guess what? That will help you progress even further in your career, because the expertise you will gain because of that hard work will pay dividends. Once you've identified your passion, do a project related to it. It doesn't really matter if it's related to your degree, although it does help massively if it is, and it looks even better on your CV. But then it also does not have to be an elaborate project. Or if it is, it can also have several sub-projects. In fact, it's better if there are stages or sub-projects. And I'll explain that in a minute. Now, if you think the project is too big for you to do it alone, team up with other people. It won't matter if many people are doing that project together, because that means people with multiple skills come together to do it, which shows judgment of skills, problem solving, and teamwork. Best of all, it divides the work for all of them, all of the people doing it, making it much easier to execute and complete. Now, if you're thinking that what on earth are we going to do a project on, there are many examples that you can come up with. So, for example, if you are passionate about electronics, you can start with the basics. Take the 555 timer chip as an example. You can easily do a series experimenting with that chip, like building various circuits, say a flip-flop. Now, that's easy enough to do, and I'm sure that there are multiple videos on YouTube showing you how to do it. But your differentiation could be that you then start changing component values. So take one component, you change the value to a point where it breaks. Then you can explain why it broke And that will be useful knowledge for the people who are trying to learn electronics. On the other hand, if you are a fan of programming, take one or more Raspberry Pis and use them to control various things. And I'm taking the example of Raspberry Pis because it has hardware components in it, which is very relevant to applied physics. And once you have them, you program them, get one set to do something or a bunch of things, that the other one to do a bunch of things, and gradually grow the capabilities of your environment. Now, I'm sure that you can think of more elaborate topics, as there is no shortage of things that you can pick as a project. If you are doing already a project in your department as part of your degree, that's great. You can use that too for the next step I'm about to talk about. But having a project that you care about, that's even better. Now comes the interesting bit. That is to build your brand. There are free blog sites available like WordPress.com to start blogging about what you're doing. I started from that website as well. Also, why I said that multiple sub-projects are better, because each person can blog about their own part of the project, but contribute to the same project website. That will not only give you writing skills and improve your English, but that blog will also become part of your shop window to the world. A picture is worth 1,000 words. I'm sure that you've heard of that. Now I say a video is worth 10,000. So the next step is to record videos of each of the stages of the project that we talked about in the previous section and put them on YouTube. You don't have to appear on those videos if you don't want to, but they do need to have stable video and good audio. Pretty much everyone has excellent cameras available on their phones these days, and YouTube is free. So there is nothing to stop you from starting this particular side of it. The next step after that is to get Twitter for yourself and open an account. Now, Twitter is essential to building up your brand and network, but make sure that you keep it clean and professional. Especially never use it for contentious topics like politics and religion, ever. That is very important because recruiters of today look at your entire social media history before giving you a job. And you don't want a black mark on your online profile when you're trying to do that. And that goes forever. So even 20 years later, you don't want that. Use that Twitter account to announce whenever you have a blog or a new YouTube video, but also use it to follow prominent figures in your relevant subject. In fact, I would say that don't just follow them. Have a conversation with them when you think you have something important to say, because that builds relationships, which is much more than just networking. Just remain humble and respectful, but also confident. Now, also start looking for relationships in terms of apprenticeships, because they also can help you build those kind of things. And as soon as you have a chance to do it, do. Ideally, you want to have a paid one where you're probably paid a minimal amount, but at least it's something. But they're worth doing even if you're not paid for them. Now I say that because in return, you are not only getting the experience of working in a professional setting, especially if it's in your field, the one that you want to get into, but you also are developing those relationships that I was talking about. They are valuable and might help you getting into the exact job that you want to be in. You never know, some of your relations might give you that job or get you that job. Now, if you are already have done your degree and looking for a job, I would say is still keep seeking those apprenticeship opportunities as long as you don't have a job, because you can always leave it respectfully and professionally once you get that job. But it's much better to be in a work setting every day where you have those advantages than to sit at home without purpose. Now finally, start writing your LinkedIn profile today. You might not have all the skills you would eventually like to have, but you do have a name and you've gone through some education, right? So that's enough content to start with. Again, keep it neat and professional with a crisp photo. Take inspiration from the profiles of the professionals you like. Also, aim to add something to your profile every 6 months. That gives you a target to constantly evolve, which is something that you will have to do for the remainder of your life. Now, as you develop new blog items or create new YouTube videos, update your LinkedIn profile with those. If you do certifications, volunteer work, apprenticeship, add that to your LinkedIn profile too. And also use it to link with people in your own line of interest and have conversations with them to build those relationships. Just like I was asking you to do on Twitter. Because all of this then helps you to build your brand. If you already have a LinkedIn profile, how much attention have you paid to it recently? And if you haven't, maybe this is your prompt to go and have a look at it and improve and clean it up or add things that you've missed. So in summary, it's almost impossible these days to get into a career you love on the strength of a degree alone. In order to succeed in this global market, you must stand out, be it via projects, apprenticeships, extra qualification, or something else. Whatever I told you today will help you develop those extra bits, try to make you into that yellow tile. Now you may have known some of that already, but the magic is in putting all of it in practice together as a strategy. Regardless of whatever the difficulties are, it's pointless complaining against the situation as the result of whatever is happening is not in your hands. But what I've talked about just now are just some of the things amongst many that you can easily do to enhance your chances against others, and it doesn't cost you much apart from some time. The whole process starts when you start spending some time finding out what motivates you, and in the process, you find your passion. And once you've done that, you need to work hard to master your chosen topic and use it to build your brand. That will show the world what you are capable of and will differentiate you in the job market. If you do that, there's no limit to what you can achieve in your career, and you'll find that the world is your oyster. So what's your call to action? As I said in the beginning, by the end, you'll need to focus on one slide only, and this slide is the one that summarizes everything. I want you to take this timeline and carry out this plan, regardless of which stage you are at in your education, like starting out your master's, or even have it completed already, as there is no better time to start than today. Forget about all the difficulties of the past and don't worry about the things that are not in your control. Act yourself today, as that means taking control of your destiny and using the power you have already to determine your future path. With that, I thank you for listening this talk and hope it was useful. My details are on this slide, and I hope to see you in the next seminar.